On March 31st of this year, in an article on the website The Nation, South Carolina men's basketball coach Frank Martin said this about millennials. Listen up. You know what makes me sick to my stomach? When I hear grown people say that kids have changed. Kids haven't changed. Kids don't know anything about anything. We've changed as adults. We demand less of kids. We expect less of kids. We make their lives easier instead of preparing them for what life is truly about. We're the ones that have changed. To blame kids is a cop-out. Well, love him or hate him, Martin has a point. Here in mid-Michigan, coaches have had to make adjustments to this generation. But are the labels they're saddled with fair? Or does this generation get a bad rap? Corey Kopic went out looking for answers.
It's an argument that's lasted for generations. Baby boomers said the same thing about Gen Xers, and everyone, it seems, is piling on millennials.
All you kids do is just sit at home, stare at your screens all day.
We don't want to put in the work like past generation.
We get the whole technology rep, we get lazy.
They know what you think of them. They hear the criticism.
Millennials are not really like that, but we get that vibe that we are and getting lazy. I mean, sometimes we all get lazy.
But the coaches who are with them on a daily basis tell a slightly different story.
I'm sure when I was a player, I probably wasn't the easiest to coach all the time either.
Veteran coaches like Frankenmuth's Brad Walraven and Bay City Western's Tim McDonald have coached generations of players, and they admit this generation is a little different.
I think you have to be more flexible these days. Back in the early days, we didn't dare take off for spring break. Sometimes we had games during that time. Now, they take off, and I've adapted. I don't get all upset anymore.
As a teacher, I'm around kids all day in the classroom. So, I will honestly say there's some things that have changed in the classroom. I mean, kids are attached to their cell phone.
But some coaches see this new technology not as a hindrance, but as more of an efficient way to stay in touch with their players.
Whether it be Facebook, Twitter, so on, I think that's definitely one of those things that I think we could talk about them having their nose in, whether it be tablets, cell phones, so on, a fair amount. But I just think that becomes another way that we can communicate with them.
Here you go, right side.
All coaches in 2017 have to make minor adjustments to remain effective. 27-year-old Great Lakes Loons manager Jeremy Rodriguez, a millennial himself, is a perfect example of someone who has taken creative measures to connect with his players.
We started off with you. The first thing a new player has to do is they come in my office, I give them the expectations, and then I'm like, hey, you got to think of a handshake by tomorrow. And they're like, what? I always enjoyed having managers that, kind of related to us and just was playing, loose and not as tense. The biggest challenge is to kind of be consistent in my attitude every day, making sure I'm the same person every day. And for me, it's so they can see that.
Everyone we've spoken to, from players to coaches to parents, are all saying the same thing. This generation is no different than we were when we were growing up. They just have more distractions to deal with on a daily basis, which makes it more difficult to stay focused on the task at hand. And those coaches that are unable to make the adjustment to this generation are just making life more difficult on themselves. Sorry, hold on one second here. Stupid cat. I'm Corey Kopic, Fox 66.
I was not sending Corey cat pictures, if that's what you were wondering. It was not me.
I wouldn't believe
I didn't do it.
Thanks, Tom. We'll be right back.